Hey guys and gals, it's me George, the Shade Tree Fix-It Man, and I've been working on some string trimmers, and as often happens with stuff I get from the dump, I have to use two to make one. I had this mower, I had this string trimmer here, which is a Homelite, as you can see, and I had this one here. This larger one actually had a straight shaft on it, but there was no head. In fact, you can see the shaft over here, and you can see that there is no head on it, and the heads are not interchangeable, at least between this particular straight shaft and the curved shaft. So after getting this engine running, I couldn't get that one there to run at all. I got this one running pretty nice, and so to make one good one, I decided to take the curved shaft off of the smaller one and mount it on here. But what do you do, and this is the subject of this video really, what do you do when these new or newer carburetors have this kind of an adjustment set up on it? They're set up so that the average homeowner can't really adjust them. But I want to tell you, they make a tool. Whoops, a little too far in, back up there. They make a tool, but it's going to cost you $8 on eBay to buy it. Well, number one, I didn't want to spend the $8, and number two, I needed it now. I didn't want it later. I didn't want to have to wait a couple of days to get it shipped in. So I decided to make my own, and that's exactly what I did. I made my own. I started with a piece of brake line. That's what this is, a piece of brake line. And I started by shaping the end of it, and notice it has two flat spots. If I can hold it still here, it has two flats and then curves on the other side, and it's the flats obviously are squeezed in a little bit more, and it still wouldn't fit into the housing over here. You know, it's a very limited area. So I did a little grinding on the tip here, and you can see, if I can get this down here where you can have a plain background, you can see that I ground it down. Well, then the problem was that I couldn't hang on to it. I needed a handle, and so I took this extra tire repair handle that had a reamer on it, and I didn't have the rest of the parts for it. So I took that off and I cut the shaft, and wouldn't you know, with a little bit of finagling, that shaft on this tire reamer slid right inside of this piece of brake line. And I tried just peening it. You could see the little dimples I have on there. Tried peening it with the center punch, and that worked a little bit, but that didn't hold it good enough because the shaft was hardened. So I ended up drilling it out, and I put a pin through it. The pin, yeah, it's a nail. And I just cut it off on either side, and then used my ball peen hammer, peened it over on both sides, and voila, we have a custom Homelite Ryobi carburetor adjustment tool. And I'm not sure what other brands, but I know those two brands use the same carburetor. there you have it. Another tool tip from the Shade Tree Fix-It Man. Bye now.